My people, today is day 16. Thank you again for joining me, for being with me in this journey together. We've done it. May God our bless and for the love that you've continued to offer me. I want to thank my friend Benali Maze for organizing this and making this possible. So today we're doing poem number 15, but before that, number 16, but before that, this is the useless fact of the day. Do you know astronauts become or get taller in space because of lack of gravity? Now you know. So if you're short, you know how to solve your problem. The reason why we are doing this series is to go through this book. It's called Petals of Emotion, that I happen to be an author of. If you want a copy, you can contact me. And for those who have the book, let us go to poem number 16. And the title is just simple: God. God, I need you more when life's puzzles go to easy mode and jigsaw fits with ease. When I feel self-sufficient, no danger is imminent, nothing in my life acts as an impediment. Then I'm filled with laxity, my humble heart coated with vanity. When I'm satisfied with my immensity, God, I humbly ask for immunity. And this poem is just this, sort of similar to poem 14, that talks of life as struggles as part of life. For most of us, we want an easy life. We want a life of chilling and relaxing. But this poem reminds us that laxity and being in your zone, safe zone, it's a disease. It needs to be a problem, because it says, God, I humbly ask for your immunity. You only require immunity against an danger. So the reason why we get immune is so that we can be able to fight any pathogens or any diseases that come to us. And so the poem is urging us to remember that life is full of struggles, and these struggles are actually good to enhance us, to make us stronger. We all know that story of how a butterfly gets its wings. It fights in its cocoon so that it can be able to come out. And if it is helped, then it becomes a problem. There's a lady called Abigail Adams, who I think is the first lady of America, if I'm not wrong. She said, "It is not in the still calm of life or the repose of a Pacific station that great characters are formed. The habit of vigorous mind are formed in contending with difficulties." Diamonds become shiny because of how they are shaped. Iron is shaped, through fire. Gold, all these things we know of that. So what the poem is just telling you simply: move from your comfort zone, bro or sis. Move from that place of everything is just fine. Try and go out and contend with life, because that is how you build character. Character is not built by avoiding yourself. You know that advert of the Dettol mom, because you can be the other lady who protects the son and you make sure that his fine doesn't go out, but this child is not growing. But the child who needs to grow is a child who faces characters and who faces difficult and is formed to become a mature man. So I don't know where you are right now, but if you are in that place of laxity, hey, my brother and sister, you need to be very careful. On to the story of today. Today we're looking at a story from Denmark. It's called Emperor's New Clothes. It's one of my favorite stories. Here it goes. Many years ago, there lived an emperor who loved beautiful new clothes so much that he spent all his money on being finely dressed. His only interest was in going to the theater or riding about in his carriage, where he could show off his new clothes. He had a different costume for every hour of the day. Indeed, where it was said of other kings that they were at court, it could only be said of him that he was in a dressing room. One day, two swindlers came to the emperor's city. They said that they were weavers, claiming that they knew how to make the finest cloth imaginable. Not only were the clothes and the patterns extraordinarily beautiful, but in addition, this material had the amazing property that it was to be invisible to anyone who was incompetent or stupid. It would be wonderful to have such cloth, said the emperor. Then I will know which of my men are unfit for their position, and I'll also be able to tell clever people from stupid ones. So he immediately gave 2 swindlers a great sum of money to weave clothes for him. They set up their looms and pretended to go to work. Although there was nothing at all on the looms, they asked for the finest silk and purest gold, all of which they hid away, continuing to work on the empty looms, often late into the night. I would really like to know how they're coming with the cloth, thought the emperor. But he was a bit uneasy when he recalled that anyone who was unfit for his position or stupid would not be able to see the material. Of course, he himself had nothing to fear, but still, he decided to send someone else to see how the work was progressing. I'll send my honest old minister to the weavers, thought the emperor. He is the best one to see how the material is coming. He is very sensible, and no one is more worthy of this position than he. So the good old minister went to the hall where the 2 swindlers sat working at their empty looms. Goodness, thought the old minister, opening his eyes. I cannot see a thing, but he did not say so. The 2 swindlers invited him to step closer, asking him if it wasn't a beautiful design and if the colors weren't magnificent. They pointed to the empty loom, and the poor old minister opened his eyes wider and wider. He still could not see anything, for nothing was there. Gracious, he thought. Is it possible that I am stupid? I have never thought so. Am I unfit for my position? No one must know this. No, it will never do for me to say that I was unable to see the material. You aren't saying anything, said one of the weavers. Oh, it is magnificent. The very best, said the old minister, peering through his glasses. These patterns and these colors, yes, I'll tell the emperor that I'm very satisfied with it. That makes us happy, said the 2 weavers, and they called the colors the unusual pattern by name. The old minister listened closely so that he would be able to say the same thing when he reported back to the emperor, and that is exactly what he did. The swindlers now asked for more money and more silk and more gold, all of which they hid away. Then they continued to weave as before on the empty looms. The emperor sent other officials as well to observe the weavers' progress. They too were startled when they saw nothing. They too reported back to him of wonderful things of the material, advising him to have it made into clothes that he could wear in a grand procession. The entire city was alive in praise of the cloth. Magnifique! Excellent, nice, they said in all languages. The emperor awarded the swindlers with medals of honor, bestowing on each of them the title of Lord Weaver. The swindlers stayed up the entire night before the procession was to take place, burning more than 16 candles. Everyone could see that they were in a great rush to finish the emperor's new cloth. They pretended to take the material from the looms. They cut in the air with large scissors. They sewed with needles, but without any thread. Finally, they announced, "Behold, the clothes are finished." The emperor came to them with his most distinguished cavaliers. The 2 swindlers raised their arms as though they were holding something and said, "Just look at these trousers. Here is the jacket. This is the cloak," and so forth. They are as light as a spider webs. You might think that you didn't have a thing on, but this is the good thing about them. Yes, said the cavaliers, but they couldn't see anything, for nothing was there. "Will His Imperial Majesty, if he please His Grace, kindly remove his clothes," said the swindlers. "Then we will fit you with the new clothes." The emperor took off his clothes, and the swindlers pretended to dress him piece by piece with the new ones that were to be fitted. They took hold of his waist, pretended to tie something about him. It was the train. Then the emperor turned and looked into the mirror. Goodness, they suit so well. What a wonderful fit, they all said. What a pattern, what colors, such luxurious clothes. "The canopy to be carried above your majesty awaits outside," said the Grand Master. "Yes, I am ready," said the emperor. "Don't they fit well?" He turned once again toward the mirror because it had to appear as though he was admiring himself in all the glory. The chamberlains were ready to carry the train, held their hands just above the floor as if they were to pick up the train. As they walked, they pretended to hold the train high, for they could not let anyone notice that they could see nothing. The emperor walked beneath the beautiful canopy in the procession, and all the people in the street and in their windows said, "Goodness, the emperor's new clothes are incomparable. What a beautiful train on his jacket. What a perfect fit." No one wanted to be noticed that he could not see anything, for then it would be said that he was unfit for his position or that he was stupid. None of the emperor's clothes had ever before received such praise. "But he doesn't have anything on," said a small child. "Good Lord, let us hear the voice of an innocent child," said the father, and whispered to another what the child had said. A small child had said that he doesn't have anything on. Finally, everyone was saying he doesn't have anything on. The emperor shuddered, for he knew that they were right, but he thought the procession must go on. He carried himself even more proudly, and the chamberlains walked along him, carrying him the train that wasn't even there. Tell me what you pick, some of the themes that you pick from this story. But what I one of the things that I'm picking is that it only needs one person to say the truth. And in this case, it was a child. It only takes one person who has no reason of hiding the truth to bring out the truth, and that will help in opening other people's eyes. The reason why we're struggling with the truth in our generation right now is that we try and make the truth to bend to our own wish and to our own will, so that we have a stake in telling that truth. But the truth can only be told by people who have no stake in it. The verse of today comes from Hebrews 13:8, and it says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's unchanging and he's the same. Have a lovely night.